The Florida Joint Center for Citizenship presents Multiple Perspectives, Video 3, Scenarios. Before we dive into scenarios, let's first begin by reviewing what we learned in the first two videos in this module. And we'll start with multiple perspectives. Remember, these are the numerous different, sometimes competing ways in which people think about public and current issues. And remember that it's our First Amendment that allows us to share and discuss and have our multiple perspectives. Now, many public or current issues can be very complex and difficult. There's no simple solution to solve the problem or issue, and many different factors to think through, which leads to multiple perspectives. Different people have different ideas for ways to address the issue. Now, as we learned in video 1, individuals, interest groups, and political parties make their multiple perspectives known about issues and government activities, and will try to convince people of the rightness of their own perspective. So why do individuals vote? Why do interest groups lobby? Why do political parties try to elect candidates that share their views on issues? Why do they do all these things? Because they want to shape participation in and impact the political process, because they want their perspectives on issues to be heard. Voting shapes participation in and impacts the political process by rewarding or punishing candidates for their position on an issue. And lobbying shapes participation in the political process and impacts it by helping leaders in the public decide what position to take on an issue. Electing candidates shapes participation in and impacts the political process by bringing leaders to power who have a perspective on an issue that reflects that party and may or may not be supported by lots of people. All of these different ways are ways that multiple perspectives shape participation in the political process. Now, in video 1, you identified groups that can influence public perspectives. And in video 2, you examined how multiple perspectives can impact participation in the political process. Be sure to watch those videos if you haven't seen them already. In this one, you'll use scenarios to understand the reaction or perspective of different groups. Let's take a look at some scenarios. We're going to use scenarios to understand the reaction and perspective of different groups. And we're going to do three things: summarize the issue, summarize perspectives, and explain how the multiple perspectives were shared. Now, you have these scenarios in the video guide for this video, so you can use these as you complete the task. Scenario 1. A local army base is closing, and the city council has not decided how to use the land that will become available. City residents, representing different perspectives, hand out flyers to people attending the city council meeting to lobby and persuade the residents and city council members to support their ideas for the land. These residents also speak at the city council meeting to share their perspectives on the issue. So let's go ahead and summarize the issue in this scenario. So how did you summarize the issue? I summarized it like this. The army base is closing, and different residents have different perspectives on what to do with the property. So let's take a look at another part of our scenario and see what those perspectives actually are. All right, let's check out these perspectives. So one interest group represents the local school district. They're advocating that the land be used to build a new K-8 school and after-school center for the city's children. The city's schools have too many students, and they have to use portable classrooms to fit all of the students. With our other perspective, some local business owners speak to support the idea of using the land to create a new business center. In their perspective, this new center will attract more businesses to move to the city, create more jobs, and improve the economy. So we get our two perspectives, so let's go ahead and summarize them. Did you summarize like I did? One perspective is for a new school, because the schools are full. And another is for business development to make the economy grow and to provide jobs. So we've summarized the issue, we've summarized the perspectives, but how did they share their perspectives? So how are these perspectives shared? Remember, let's look at our passage again. Oak Army Base is closing, and the city council has not decided how to use the land. City residents, representing different perspectives, hand out flyers to people attending the city council meeting to lobby and persuade the residents and city council members to support their idea for the land, and they speak at the meeting. Now remember, they're sharing their perspective to try to persuade their audience that their perspective is the right one. How are they trying to do this? They're handing out flyers to people attending the meeting, and they're speaking at the city council meeting. Did you find them? Great. Scenario 2. The national budget is an important issue in the United States. Each year, the president identifies his priorities for the national budget, and Congress works to allocate or distribute money to different departments and agencies through appropriations bills. The United States does not have unlimited funds, so difficult decisions have to be made about how that money will be spent. So let's go ahead and summarize the issue that we see in this scenario. So what did you say? I put it like this. The issue is that the U.S. does not have unlimited funds, so decisions have to be made about how to create a budget and spend the money. But what are the perspectives about going about this? Let's take a look. So let's take a look at our perspectives. Both major political parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, outline their different visions for the budget during congressional debates. The Republican Party wants to reduce education spending, while the Democratic Party wants to increase foreign aid, for example. The president often uses the State of the Union or other speeches to state how he believes money should be spent, which could be different from either party in Congress. And interest groups will publicly lobby to increase funding for their areas of concern, for example, education or foreign aid. So let's summarize the perspectives based on this scenario. So our multiple perspectives. Each political party in Congress wants something different from the budget. The president may want something different from Congress. And interest groups want funding for their own area of concern. And we're going to have to resolve all these perspectives in order to actually have a budget. How are these multiple perspectives shared? Let's take a look. Well, we see here that the parties share their perspectives through congressional debates. The president shares his through State of the Union or other speeches, and interest groups will publicly lobby. So as we can probably see, multiple perspectives on current and public issues shape how we participate in the political process. Interest groups, political parties, and individuals have their perspectives on issues and have to understand them to try and agree. If you haven't already, make sure you watch the first video in this module to be able to identify groups that influence public perspectives, and the second video in this module in order to examine how multiple perspectives shape participation in the political process. Now you can learn more about the ways in which we can influence the political process and about political parties in these topic areas here on civics360. This video is produced by the Florida Joint Center for Citizenship at the Lou Fry Institute. Thanks for watching.